Well, I got it all in the box, and in the earlier version I had the blue push type tubing on the whole thing, and I had to change that out for this 1/4 inch airline because the tubing it just wanted to keep going in a circle, and I couldn't get it straightened out. And it's like one of those little yellow airlines with all the little coils in it. It just wants to keep wrapping upon itself. So I finally got tired of that. But this is the front of the box with the mount holding the actual controller. This is the side where the cables come out. This is the other side where the electrical connection is and the air connection. It uses a computer plug, and I got an on-off switch on top. Then this is the air line, and I got a bracket. I put a bracket on it for two reasons: to keep it in line so it wouldn't drop and rotate, and also so that when you're putting the air line on it, you have to push against something, because sometimes these airlines, when you put them on there, it takes two hands, and if I just had it going straight into the box, it would deflect the box because the box isn't strong enough to hold it, trying to hook the connectors up. So I put this little bracket on there to help, so you could hold it here. Then with your other hand, you put the connector on the other end. This is the air switch that's going to operate the brake between 40 and 60 pounds. And then this other switch here is that little switch that goes all the way off. It's more of a little metering switch that's going to put a couple of pounds of pressure going into this box to cool that heat sink in there. And that's what this airline is. I didn't even have to put a clamp on it because there's so less pressure on it that it's just basically just a breeze. Just going to go in there and circulate a little bit of air in there. So we're going to take this cable out. I'm going to rotate this around. So this is actually the back of the box. And I have my fan unit from before. So I'm going to take this out. Take some of the cable out. This cable just comes out the top. Of course, like I said, I don't have the back of the box on yet. I'll take this cable out. Then in the bottom down here, I have my little switch. That's for to index it off that plug in the back, and to put the brake on and release the brake and then index it. Now on the air pressure regulator, I had this knob on here you saw from last time, but I since put a square on it. I was going to put some kind of rotating knob, but anytime you put any kind of knob or anything that has like a wall, this cord is going to get caught on it. So I thought it'd be best just to have it as smooth as possible. And it made it a square. What I do is I took this knurled piece and I drilled a hole in it, and I drilled 4 holes in the corner, and I didn't even take an end mill and straighten these corners out, so it come out to about 500. So I just made this hex 500, so that just fits on there. Then I can rotate it so I can set my pressure, and then I can take it off. So this top one is the one that's going to control the brake. The bottom one is the one that goes into, I mean, it doesn't matter where you put it. I made so long as you got the power on the bottom, and then just either one, it doesn't matter. So I got my computer cord here, plug that in. I got this here. Kind of tough to do when you only got one hand. So this cable is the one that goes in. This is the one that comes out. So this is the one that goes to the brake. Well, this is the unit itself. Got it mounted. Now I'll take this apart so you can take a look at it. Okay. So what I envisioned was that this was going to be, the box is going to be somewhere on the floor. This was going to be on my right side. This was going to be in the middle. and this was going to be on the left side. I'm just going to leave that there. No point in untangling all those wires. So this, I got these two connectors. So this long one goes over here to the switch. Now this is the one that I put that double cutout on. I don't know if you remember that. That's so I could rotate that for when I'm going one direction or the other. You see the little notch in it on the one side, and there's another notch in it on this side. See the notch on this side? See the notch on that side, so I can rotate it. So I can change the direction of the rotation of the indexer by rotating this. Then this other connection, the motor connection, goes here to the motor. So we're going to power this up. Well, I got a little air tank that I'm using for a little air supply. I used to fill up the car tires with. So I'm going to connect that onto here. So when I turn this unit on, fan fires up. There's no light on that on-off switch, but I hear the fan. So the unit is energized. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to turn this on. So I can operate that with my switch now. Now see, looking at the back of that, it's going clockwise. So if I rotate my switch 180, should go counterclockwise, and it does. Okay, now we're gonna put a little air pressure on it. And over here, I got 40 pounds. Then I can operate my brake. So I can move that switch, brake's released, operate the brake, release the brake, rotate it, operate the brake, release it, rotate it. See, this way the brake won't be on while it's rotating. It has to release. So when I had the motor disconnected. There's a hole on here that I put a wrench on. Now you remember I had that little wrench I put on there to hold that when I take the collets on and off. And I held that with a wrench. When this motor was off, I held that with a wrench and I tried to rotate it. I couldn't get that thing. When the brake was on, I couldn't get it to rotate. That brake locked it up pretty solid. And I'm only pushing about 40, maybe 50 pounds, 48 pounds. But anyway, let's take this unit off so I can show you how the adjustment works on that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to turn this unit off. And we'll just take this apart real quick. Okay, how I adjust this is I snug this screw down. And at first I was using my fingers to rotate this knob. And that releases the belt. Tension on the belt, or it snugs it up depending on which way you rotate it. So then I put 4 holes in there, and I use this guy from before, and I just put this on there, and I just rotate it with this. You see the belt loosening up, and when I turn it the other way, it tightens up. See it tightening there? Now it's loosening there. So what I got going on here, I'm going to take this off. Take this one bolt out. Then I lift and make sure that this is all the way in. So it's all the way in. Now you can pull this off. I can't go too far with it because it's hardwired into this piece here. Now this is just a cover on top of here. Just a hollow cover, fits over that wire. But this piece here is a block and is bolted in from the other side. Now this cap on top was the afterthought of using this bolt that goes onto the top of it. Now I could have made that all one piece, but wasn't sure on how I was going to lock that down. But what happens here is that this piece is threaded into this block. And it's got this cutout. So that's threaded in there. I think it's a 3/4 thread or 5/8, or it's a pretty good sized thread. Then this cutout fits on that groove. That little groove here. That's fits inside of here. Then as you rotate the screw back and forth, it moves. This is stationary. This is bolted to this plate from the bottom. Then as this moves in and out, it pulls this in and out. So what happens is that the screw on the top, when it pulls it so far, it wants to rock because the belt's putting tension on it, and it wants to rock backwards because the belt is holding it, so it starts to pivot up. So at that point, you snug the screw down to where it captures this unit and keeps it on the ground, on the floor of the plate. And then you snug it up, and then you put your final tension on it. But I'll bring that all the way in. Then I'll take this piece, and it fits on there. I mean, it's a pretty good fit. So that fits in there, and there's like no wobble in that at all. There's no wobble in there. And back and forth, you have just a little bit because it's riding in the groove of that thing. So when I put the belt on it, and I'll go ahead and put a little tension on it. See the belt start to tighten up. Now what happens is it gets to a certain point and you'll see the feet will start to rise. See the feet starting to rise there? I back it off and I put more tension on it, feet start to rise. So then I put the bolt in the top. I leave just a little tension on it. Then I tighten it, get the proper tension on the belt. It doesn't have to be real tight because the brake is going to do the work. So I get a little flex in there. I think that's pretty good. It doesn't need to be much. And just snug this down. Recheck that. Yeah, it's pretty good. So long as you keep, when you're using it, you rotate in one direction. When you rotate in the other direction, you're going to get a little bit of play in there because of the belt. But if you use it in one direction, if you make the belt tighter, you're going to eliminate your play. But if you don't want it too tight to where, it's overstretching it or anything. But if you, move in one direction and put the brake on, the brake will hold it. And then moving in one direction takes all the play out of it. So that's essentially it. Just put the lid on the box, and it's good to go. Getting ready to cut some parts. All right, gotta get this puppy working. Make some parts. All right, bye.